Hi everyone! There are so many varieties of yellow and orange tomatoes in the world, but there are even more people who like to grow precisely such tomatoes. They are bright, beautiful and fill our garden with sunshine. But it is even more important that these varieties are tasty to give us a real pleasure, and I hope the information that I provide in this video will help you to find delicious varieties that you won't regret growing. So in this review, I will show you my top 10 sweetest and best tasting yellow and orange tomato varieties that I've grown in my garden. Some of them were more productive, some less so, but all the varieties I included on this list were very tasty. And the first variety I'm going to tell you about today is Meat Breakfast. It is a very productive and large fruited tomato, definitely one of last season's most productive varieties. I grew it in 2 stems and they grew to a height of 1.8 meters. By the way, when I hosted guests from our local TV company, it was one of the varieties that we tasted with the journalists, and understandably, this is the variety they were happy with. On average, in one bunch I got 3 or 4 bright fruits of large yellow beefsteak tomatoes with a mild and pleasant taste with sweetness and no sourness, and they ripened in whole bunches. On the cut, it becomes clear why the variety got its name. And it is indeed very meaty. And what I like about this tomato is the combination of 2 important qualities for any variety: yield and taste. Meat Breakfast is a great choice for lovers of large yellow tomatoes. And what about the next one? The famous variety from Germany, which I have been growing for several seasons, is the German orange strawberry tomato. And of course, I could not fail to mention it. And beforehand it grew very tall, but last season exceeded the previous performance and grew over 2.5 meters tall. The plant is very vigorous, producing fruits of different shapes, from heart shape to flat round. The tomatoes are beautiful with a slight ribbing over each yellow-orange color. Most of the fruit resembles the shape of a strawberry, which is why the variety got its name. But most importantly, from season to season, German orange strawberry continues to hold its high bar as a delicious yellow or orange tomato. It is one of those varieties that I can safely recommend to both my subscribers and simply to lovers of growing gorgeous and tasty large hearts. Once again, I'm convinced that in Germany they love and know how to breed excellent tomatoes with high taste qualities. The German orange strawberry is a complete proof of that. And let's move on. The next variety I'm going to tell you about is called Big Orange Coolidge, and I really enjoy telling you about it. It is an American yellow tomato variety with what I think is a great name. The name was the first reason why I chose to grow it, but my goodness, I would do it again without a doubt, especially now that I know all the best qualities of this wonderful variety. Indeterminate plants grow to a height of 2 meters or more. The fruits are yellow and quite big. The variety confidently produced a harvest throughout the whole season. On the cut, tomatoes are deep yellow in color, with few seeds inside, very juicy and flavored. I would even say that it looked more like an exotic fruit than a tomato, so tasty they turned out to be. This is one of those cases when you realize you just have to keep it in your collection to grow in future years. Big Orange Coolidge is all about productivity, beauty and flavor that come together in one variety. Another variety that I really liked is the Big Golden Delicious tomato. Originally from the United States, it is tall and easily grows to 2 meters or more. All fruits are big, bright yellow and sunny in color. I really liked its productivity and resistance to disease and hot weather. A sturdy plant which gave me fruits weighing more than half a kilo. And when it comes to flavor, the name completely matches what I felt while tasting it. It really is delicious as well as golden and big. It has a nice sweet taste of a real homegrown tomato. There are very few reviews about it on the internet, so I'm happy to add more information about this variety, especially since it really deserves more fame. I'm very glad I found these seeds and now I can grow large and delicious yellow tomatoes every year. Big Golden Delicious. Every word in this name is true. And now let's move on to a very interesting variety with a history going back more than 150 years. The Belgian Giant Yellow is a variety from Belgium, a small country in Western Europe. This is not the first Belgian variety that I've grown. For example, the black pineapple tomato is also from that country, and it is wonderful. As for the Belgian Giant Yellow, it is a potato leaf plant with light yellow fruits. It grew equally well in the greenhouse and outside. On the cut, the fruit is just as bright and sunny, with lots of seeds. What surprised me the most, I unexpectedly found small pink spots, although the outside of the tomato is just yellow with no sign of being bicolor. I knew that since the variety has been saved for over 150 years, there must be reasons for this, and there really are. And first of all, their fantastic taste is very bright, sweet with a nice acidity. I've tasted tomatoes that were grown in a greenhouse and outside and realized that the difference in growing conditions has not affected the taste. Despite so many other tasty varieties, I always looked for precisely these fruits to eat fresh or add them to a salad. If the flavor could be seen or touched, the taste of these tomatoes should definitely be displayed in a gallery so people could see what a perfect tomato should taste like. I bet many people think that tomatoes are grown only in warm regions, so now I want to break this stereotype and show you a variety bred in Siberia, which is rightly considered quite a cold region. However, as my experience has shown, tomatoes from Siberia are often not inferior and sometimes superior to many other varieties, and I can confidently say this about the Altai Orange tomato. I really liked the way they look, large ripe fruits of deep orange color with green shoulders, which for me is a signal that the tomato will be tasty. It's beautiful on the cut, but mostly importantly, it has a very rich and balanced flavor. The Altai Orange surpassed all my expectations when tasting it. I consider it one of the most delicious varieties I have ever tasted. Therefore, I fully join all the positive feedback about this tomato. And if I used to associate Altai with unusually beautiful nature, now the impeccably tasty Altai Orange tomato is added to this. It's time to tell you about one of the most popular tomatoes in the United States, the yellow Brandywine, an indeterminate plant with a potato leaf and flat round orange tomatoes. This was the very first tomato from the Brandywine family that I was able to try, and the impressions are really only positive. The tomatoes may not have been the largest, but still a decent size, very fleshy, beautiful inside and outside. This variety has earned its popularity for a reason, and the explanation is quite simple. It is, of course, its taste, sweet with a little acidity. A real classic. If you haven't tried yellow Brandywine yet, you should definitely do it. This is surely one of the best yellow tomatoes for sure. Cero Blackburn tomato. When choosing this variety, I relied exclusively on the positive reviews I found on the internet. Cero Blackburn was praised for both productivity and taste. It is a high-growing variety. It has grown over 1.8 meters, and its feature is that it had no small tomatoes at all, only big yellow fruits with small green shoulders that slowly disappeared as they ripened. Tomatoes are with very thin skin, but in spite of this, none of them cracked throughout the season, and the taste changed from good to excellent. If you like to look for large beefsteak yellow tomatoes, then Cero Blackburn tomato is another good option for you. Let us return to the Brandywine family. Another example that gave me a lot of pleasure is the Apricot Brandywine tomato. Like the yellow Brandywine, this is a potato leaf tomato, but in this case it was even taller and more vigorous, growing over 2 meters tall. The tomatoes are large yellow-orange in color, sometimes with small green streaks. It showed high yields and tolerated the uncomfortable weather perfectly. It consistently gave me 3 to 4 fruits in each bunch, weighing up to half a kilo. Bright orange flesh with wonderful deep flavor. The tomatoes are very sweet, juicy, tender, and just melt in the mouth. Take a look at what they look like on the inside, and a lot will become clear. Apricot Brandywine is a fantastic variety of large and tasty tomatoes that will stay in my collection forever. If I were to ask you in which cartoon all the characters have yellow skin, of course you would answer The Simpsons. And although I know that the name of the next variety is not related to the world-famous TV show, I still must include it in this list. Also, I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm a big fan of The Simpsons, and that's the main reason why I decided to grow this tomato. The big yellow Simpson is an heirloom of Mrs. Nora Simpson from Rogersville, Tennessee. It is a tall plant with regular foliage, medium in size, and may have prominent green streaks until fully ripe, which gradually disappear and the tomatoes become a shiny golden yellow color. And although this variety is meant to be eaten fresh or used to make salads, they are still dense and store quite well, which is a distinct advantage for this beef stick type. Inside is solid, juicy, dense and fleshy flesh that reminds of a pineapple or some other fruit, and there are very few seeds. And in flavor, it's almost a perfect harmony of sweetness and sourness. And that is why I am growing this variety again this year. Big Yellow Simpson is really big, yellow and delicious. Thanks for watching. I will continue to show you the most delicious tomato varieties soon, so don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss new reviews. This is the Lucky Garden channel, and see you soon.